What's up, peoples?
What's up, everybody? I had to throw last thing. How to fix here. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Two Trains of Misfits. We
Yes,
are
sir.
live. We are live on YouTube and we're live on Facebook. We have we're gonna have with us Robert Whittaker returning.
I don't have the sound
Uh,
effects.
and I think we should just bring him in right now, right? What do you think?
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Bring
Let's
him
get
in
it
right now.
started. Let's
All
get
right,
it
this is
started.
Mr. Robert Whittaker. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
What's going on? How are you?
Take that off.
It's all good. Campaigning.
Good, good. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons we have you here. I also wanted to bring up the fact that um, as we talked on the last show, we was hoping to get all the candidates here to either do a debate, which, as we already said, Nas was not. And let's just throw this up there right now. Nas is running for third vice chair. Nas Abdurrahman, he is from the Jackie Gleason Depot, so I know him well from the Depot. Um, and of course, we have you, Mr. Robert Whittaker. We have put that on last show too.
Look
Also
at that
running for,
picture.
yeah, he went very, he didn't go with all lights and blaring or just simple picture, the issues, straight up. And we
How you
also,
got Mayor Adams up there?
oh, how did that happen?
He's running for third candidate too?
And Caesar, you only know him by Caesar from Flatbush, and he's also running for third vice chair. And last but not least, Miss Nokia Howell, running for third vice chair. Oh, I said Nokia.
Lucky.
Nakia. I actually got to meet Miss Howell today at the depot. I got one of her flyers at the depot. Um, very well spoken, and I spoke to her about what we were doing here, and she agreed to be on today. But it was dependent on she had some event that with family that she had to attend, but she wasn't sure. So I told her, "Oh, you let me know." So she called a little while ago, told me that it was today, so she could not make it, but she wants to be on, and we will have her on next Thursday. The reason we want to do this is to get to know the candidates because Blunt, you and me, we know Whitaker, we know Nas from our depot, but we know nothing about the other two. I texted Caesar. I got that number. I texted Caesar. Was it 2 days ago? Or was it yesterday? Yesterday early. I texted him, letting him know what we do. If he was interested to come on, to let me know. We will put him on just to get to know everybody, get informed, and then find out what they know. Just to get a little more insight on all of them, because again, probably people from his depot know him well. Probably the same thing with Miss Howell from her depot, Fresh Pond, know her well. But this is a big thing. It's 4 people running for that big third vice chair. So everybody should know who they are. Am I right?
Yeah.
Whitaker, did you go to any other depot or did you?
Yeah, I've been to every one. Every one. I'm actually starting my second round tomorrow. During my break. I'm gonna go to East New York and Flatbush again. I was at Grand Avenue yesterday. Um, I go Omer Park. I can literally walk there. I've been there often enough. So I've been to all of them. I went to Fresh Pond last weekend, so I'll be there to Fresh Pond this weekend.
Okay, so I'm thinking that that's why Nakia came to our depot, right, for the same thing. I couldn't stay long because that was on my swing when I saw her and I had to leave. But Probably. So this is a good thing. I'm sorry, Blunt. I cut you off. You were going to say something.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, when you visit the depots, what is your overall intake on it? Are they receiving you well, or you having some pushback? What's going on?
A little bit of pushback, not too much. You know what? I mean, obviously, Fresh Pond, you're going to have a little bit of pushback from Nikia's supporters and
Mhm.
Flatbush, but you know what? A lot of people don't know that there's actually an election ongoing.
Right, exactly.
Um, so that was basically, and the fact that it's 3 weeks, basically from last Thursday the ballots were mailed out to March 30th, the ballots are being counted. That's a quick turnaround. I think Nas and I both agreed on that, that it was just a real quick turnaround. Now we both suspect because we're in the middle of a contract fight, they didn't want this going out any further. But we'll never know why the quick turnaround.
Well, we know for sure, Blunt, that Whittaker putting himself out there big time at the depot. Like anywhere that you walk to the depot, you'll see that poster
Uh,
on a
I,
wall,
I,
on a door.
actually, if you look now, it's different posters.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Um, but like everywhere. Did you go into the ladies' room to put one of those two in there?
No, don't get me in trouble. No, I did not.
But
Please.
yeah, everywhere. And same with Nas. Not saying he has a few up, but Whitaker, like, yo, he go downstairs on the door. There's three of them because like he wants to make sure. So, and believe it or not, this guy at our depot, when I was leaving, he pointed at them like, hey, yo, Pete, who is that?
See,
About you.
somebody at the depot said that.
At the depot, an operator from the depot doesn't know you. And I was like, who is that? I was like, Rob Whitaker. You don't know Rob Whitaker?
Listen, I don't. Unfortunately, I try not to push myself on other people. I also, you know what? In this day and age, with workplace violence and confrontations, I'm not. Listen, I make myself obvious. I make myself obvious. Yeah, I make myself obvious. My posters are up. I will answer any question anybody wants to, but I don't want to force myself on anybody. It's not my position that here. Um, boy, I sit right in the middle. I sit right in the middle of the crew area when I'm there in the
Yeah.
morning. You
Yeah, I've
know,
seen you.
I don't want to create an, especially after what happened over in RTO and all that
Ooh.
battles. I don't want
Ooh.
to create a similar situation. So if they want to come and ask me, please stop me. I will be more than happy to. You know what? Aaron's
Blunt,
got my
should we
phone
slide
number.
into that blunt?
I'm sorry.
No, sorry, the blunt. You mentioned something, and I was wondering if Blunt had something to say about that.
About no, I wasn't listening. Sorry. I
Oh,
was,
very nice. Yeah, I see. You just put your headphones on.
yeah, I was looking for my headphones.
He mentioned the thing that happened at Bedford, and I was wondering if you had anything to say about that.
Oh, Bedford, the situation in Bedford.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of things going on with that situation, and I just
good
want
segue.
to, yeah, I just want, pardon the interruption, Robert. We're gonna let you talk in a minute.
Well, he'll be back next week anyway. Again.
Yeah. But there's a lot of social media stuff going on about what happened at Bedford, and so I actually reached out to Tramel myself and asked him if he wanted to put out a statement or something for the people who might be watching us that follow Tramel also, and say something to them. And unfortunately, he really can't say too many things because there's still litigation that's ongoing. But he did uh, text me a little something to say to you guys. So I'm not just going to read it to you. I'm going to show you the text so you know that this is his words, not mine's.
but
That he said. What
but
happened,
wait,
Pete?
before you said that, I had seen this video where somebody was saying that the whole thing was cleared up, that both parties were um
Yeah, I can't speak on that video. All I know is what he told me, and I'm gonna show the world what he told me. And whatever other people are saying is what they're saying. I can't say if it's true or if it's false. I'm just not
All
even
right.
going to speak on it, But when I text him, this is what he had to say, and showing the world right here. Thanks for reaching out, bro. But I can't put out statements or anything right now. But you can tell your audience, that's you guys who follow him. Thanks for the prayers. I'm in a lot of pain, discomfort, and there's a long road to recovery. I'm looking forward to accomplishing. So as far as things being settled, if things were settled, that'll be a different statement, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
speculation from here right now. So I'm not going
Okay.
to speak any more
Yeah,
on it.
because until we hear it from the horse's mouth, I guess.
Right. So I mean, again, we
Officially.
don't wish no ill will in Tramel. We wish him well in his recovery. I am no stranger to pain. I know what it can do to a person mentally and physically. And so I let him know that if he ever wants to talk, I know I'm not in his circle. Everybody has their circle. I'm not in his circle like that. But if he wants to reach out and talk about pain related issues and stuff that comes down to that, he can always hit me up. I've been through more than most would even know. So I could definitely let him know what to look forward to, what to not look forward to, and how to handle certain situations, things like that when it comes to it. But that's that situation. Let's get back to the
Yeah.
race here.
Rob, how do you feel about the other three candidates?
Listen, I have no issue. I mean, I've never met Nokia, but I'm assuming I will soon.
Oh, you haven't
Um,
met her yet?
I haven't met her yet. I was actually out on the road when she was at the depot today. Um, everybody else, I have no particular problems with. Personally, I have no problems with any of them,
No,
non
no,
or
no.
even
I don't
lucky.
mean that. I don't mean it as you have a problem or dislike, but as far as as far as their knowledge, because from what we've seen from you, you're very knowledgeable in the field. You are in some community boards, right? Am I right? You're in
Yeah,
some
I'm on
community
community
boards.
board 11.
Okay. Um, so you knew quite a few things. Um, as far as the competition, maybe I'm pushing it, but as far as the competition, of all three right now, who do you think will give you the most competition,
I,
in your
I,
opinion? In your opinion.
it's hard. It's probably going to be either between um, Caesar or Nas, but I don't know. Like I said, remember I asked you about the debate, and you know what? Let's start up. Let's see where everybody's knowledge is.
I'm just
But
trying to push it
unfortunately,
there because maybe they're listening and they'll. You got to come on, guys. They got to come on. We
listen,
want to hear from them.
and they should. Unfortunately, you know what? Um, my knowledge is expensive because I've taken Cornell University labor relations. I've seen more outside the box here. I'm on the community board, so I know what the city budget is and what the state budget is and how it looks for us, and it's not looking that great.
Mm.
Um, I've done a lot of road issues, fighting with the bus redesign. I put in an awful lot of time outside of the job. My wife will tell you. She says she never sees me half the time, but it's
That's not good.
when
Go.
I'm married 20 something years. You know
Mm.
what? it's all good. I mean, I make up for in other ways. It's quality time, not quantity time sometimes.
Okay.
Um,
That's a good question for a Brunsternomis.
I'm not going to touch that one. I'm gonna let
As
that
I
go.
said, that's a good question for Mr.
really,
Brunsternomis.
Yeah, I'm just going to
guys,
let that one go.
you know, if
Okay, so
you
Whittaker, you said you deal with a lot of road issues. Can you give us an example? Because
okay,
people want to know.
no problem. The bus stop in front of Coney Island Hospital with the B4, the B1, the B36. It's been years here. I had to get the money to get that bus redesign done. I'm sorry, that bus stop redesign. We finally got the money for that, and I was actually just at my councilman's office 2 weeks ago, and I inquired, where is the starting of this project? They told them that they should have started last September, which now means they're behind. And the explanation that they were giving my councilman, because that's who funded it, up to $500,000, no less.
Okay.
When they finish with that in front of that stop, it's a safety issue for buses. You can't get more than one bus in there safely. Never mind the fact is you can't get people on and off wheelchairs here safely there. So, because there's a lip there when you go into that bus stop, you're halfway out in the middle of the street. So something's going to happen there. And that was part of the issue that I wanted to deal with because I don't want buses getting hit. Now they tell us that that project is in design. So the next step after design is they're going to bid the project out. And unfortunately, that takes a little bit of time.
Right.
Unfortunately. I wish they would, unfortunately, the city would take a design build like the MTA is doing now with some of their stations and all. But to cut the cost and cut the time. Because it's been, geez, I did that as a part of a participatory budget request to Councilman Mark Traeger, and they said, yeah, absolutely, that's a situation where they can't get people with wheelchairs and walkers at that location. So the community voted on it, and they put the money. So I've been told that that process is moving along. So hopefully now we'll see shovels in the ground soon enough.
Okay. Here's
There's
a
no
here's
offense.
Okay.
maybe a how you say a task or a challenge for you. Being that you got the ball rolling on that, and I've spoken to Gibson about this before, but unfortunately he passed away. So that died with him. Yeesh. Maybe that's not the right word to say. But
God rest his soul.
yeah, God rest. May he rest in peace. The bus stop on 58th and First is the B11, right? By
Yeah.
the what's that
Yeah.
over there? The Navy thing. What's that over there?
The Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Right. Yeah, by the Navy Yard. Is it right? The B11.
Yep.
Um,
I'm sorry, the Brooklyn Army
Yeah, the
Terminal.
Brooklyn
the
Army
terminal. Yeah, the terminal. Right. That bus stop there. There is no ramp for the handicap. No ramp. There's no
Okay.
ramp getting to it on that whole block. There's no ramp getting to it and no ramp coming from it. So if you in a wheelchair, you actually have to be in the street to get on the bus, or somebody has to help you get onto the sidewalk in order to get on the bus. So is there something you can do about that?
Yeah, I could look into that. I'll talk to the community. I have to go look at what whose community board that is and speak to somebody at the community board and find out who the city councilman is over there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what's happened here is they just had a reshuffling of all the city council districts and all that. After every census, just like they did for the senators and all that, they did that for the city councilmen and the districts. So that's just taking hold. We just had a city council election two years ago. This year, all the city councils in the entire city will be up for a revote this year because of the changing district lines. But yeah, I can actually look at that. But actually, I want to look to see if they're actually keeping the B11 that far down with the bus redesign. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember if they kept that there or not.
So
But yeah, absolutely.
just to answer Aaron's question, truthfully, it's been a while since I've been over there because I noticed that because when I first came home after my accident, I was doing physical rehab and I was in a wheelchair, and I noticed that I had to go all the way down the block in my wheelchair.
You got me
And it was
thinking about that now because I'm
but,
out there and
yeah, it's no ramp. It's no ramp.
The
I'm
last
not
time I
sure if
was
there
there,
is one all the way on Second Avenue, but now I'm not sure if there's one by the entry gate to
No, there's
to
none.
the yard.
Going on both
I'm not
sides of
sure.
that part, there's none there, and there's none. Yeah, that's what makes it hard. So if you're in a wheelchair, you're kind of screwed. You know, I like again, Aaron. It's been a while since I checked, so
I
maybe
don't.
somebody
I
else
don't.
can check.
Last time I was down there, I don't remember seeing one there because I know, besides all the parking issues there with the bus being there and all that, I don't remember seeing a wheelchair ramp. So you know,
Because
I'm
you're
gonna actually go look at that, and you know what, and go see what we can do about that.
because you're right,
So
Blunt. And there's some people go down that ramp to go to the ferry,
Right.
or sometimes just to
It might
walk
need,
on
yeah.
that
It's a
pier
connection
over
to the
there,
ferry. Yeah,
and
exactly.
that would be rough for people on the wheelchair. Yeah,
After being in the street, and then those buses come by.
I'm
There's
gonna be
trucks
out there
right over
tomorrow. I'm
there.
gonna take pictures to see.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, I'll send it to
Whittaker.
Whittaker.
Here's a question that I think everybody who's voting is going to want to ask you. So
By all
don't
means,
blame,
fire away.
don't shoot the messenger. But why on God's green earth should I cast my ballot for you and not the other people who's running?
Because I provide more leadership than that's currently there.
You
They all
provide
have
more leadership.
more leadership because you know what? You can be a rep, okay, but you know what? People aren't going to listen to you. People, you know what? You got to have a leader there. You know what? Saying, okay, you know what? I'm responsible. Everybody pushes everything one way or the other. Oh, go see this and do that. You know what? No, I'm going to be responsible for something. I'm going to take responsibility for it. You know what? I know Kemp's finally taken responsibility for the comp, and God only knows we needed somebody like that.
Shout out to Camp. Camp doing his thing. Shout out to Nas. Shout out to
Yeah,
the new
Even
crew
though he's
that's
not
in
really
there.
supposed to do that, is he? He doesn't have to.
no, he
But he's like
doesn't. But
he's
but but
really getting his hands
that's a
dirty with it.
see that's a leader that says, you
That's a
know what?
leadership.
That's exactly right, and that's exactly what I'm going to bring that most others won't. I'll give you one better.
What
Was
up,
it last
cuz?
week? Last week,
I'm
and
gonna
this
put
is
up
what
your picture real quick to just to see on the things that you talked about.
Contract mobilization, help employees on workers' comp, booking bus redesign, schedule safety issues, worker assaults. All right, let's go to this
but
workers'
but
comp.
but
Pick on one of them.
Rob. Yeah, Rob.
okay. I
Oops,
will
I'm
say this
sorry.
that
I wanted to make that different. All right.
I will say this. Last week I happened to run into Brooke and Pete, who was actually at the depot at night when I came back or whatever, and he was talking to people and giving out pens and whatever else. And he complained about Richie Davis. And I said to him, let me ask you this question, and I know the answer, but how did you vote? How did you vote for president? He voted for Richie Davis. And you know what he turned around and told me? Well, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter that it didn't matter. The fact here is we're not getting anything for it because we were promised shop stewards already, which has been pushed back yet again. The fact here is he's an e-board rep. You know what? Those voters need to ask him, how did he vote on certain things? Okay? That's his record. That's his record. How did he vote in his job title? You know, prove to me that you represented comp. Prove to me, because I already know what the answer is. I've gotten for the person that's doing the comp right now. Okay.
Have you represented any people on comp? Are you allowed to do that right now?
I'm not allowed to, but I can give people advice on how to it and what to do.
Have
the
you?
biggest, absolutely. I've gotten calls from people in other divisions in Staten Island and Queens because I'm known the particulars on comp.
Okay, so if anybody out there who he's helped, you wanna give up receipts, please feel free to say, yeah, he did in the comments,
Yeah.
because he could sit here and say everything in the world. I wouldn't know if he's lying or not. But
the biggest thing that I think people miss out on comp here is loss of use. Okay. When you don't go get loss of use, you're leaving money on the table.
When you don't go what? I'm sorry.
For loss of use, after your case is settled, and a year after your last surgery and your medical maximum medical improvement, okay, you need to make sure you have a lawyer, and you go for what they call loss of use. Now that's a percentage.
You got one receipt. Oh, too bad we don't know who it is.
You know
Facebook
who it is.
user.
We can see his name on Facebook.
Thanks, Facebook user. We appreciate it.
Let's see.
Sorry, man. I threw you off, my bro. Sorry, man.
But make sure that you do that. Make sure that you get your loss of use. I don't know anybody else here that couldn't use money from the time that they were out on comp, especially what they put you through on comp.
Oh, Paula. What up,
That's
Paula?
Parla.
Yeah. What up, Paula? How we doing, sweetheart?
Parla, go give permission
Facebook.
to Facebook.
So we can see that pretty smile.
Yeah, you go to
Those pretty teeth, Paula.
StreamYard.com, and that way your name and your profile
Yeah.
will show up. Welcome.
But I will tell you this:
So
that's one thing that people are leaving on the table.
a lot
Second
of
of all,
money, huh?
here is when you go to comp, okay, and you go to your doctor. The first thing here is go back to the depot, drop off your paperwork. Do not stay on the property. Okay? Drop off your paperwork and go home. Because God forbid you fall while you're there dropping off paperwork. The MTA is going to say, you know what? You didn't belong here. Don't socialize. Drop off your paperwork and go home until you're ready to go back to work. Because
Is
if
that
you
true?
fall,
What I
that's
heard one time about that you could get charged with
loitering.
trespassing if you're 10 minutes past your clearing time. I mean,
They
because I see
can,
people hanging out there all the time after they clear, so I'm just wondering how
but they
how
they
truthful
could
this
try.
is.
But
Walk, walk,
I,
Paula.
I will tell you this. That's another thing that people just drop off the paperwork here and go home and get better. Make sure your paperwork is filled out properly. Make sure that you know what you drop it. You have to go at least once a month to a doctor when you're out on comp, and your paperwork must be dropped off, or they're gonna suspend your payments. If you miss an IME, they'll suspend your uh, they'll suspend your payments. So it's very technical, and that's what it is. But I don't want anybody falling into that trap. Don't fall for the MTA gimmicks. And you know what? They have 30. The MTA has 30 days to respond for a contestment or they okay your case. But when your doctor submits a request, people don't know here is MTA has 30 days to respond to that. And if they don't, your doctor can go forward with it because guess what? That's going to be basically a clear line that you know what? Let's go. You know, if your diagnosis is shoulder rotator cuff, and you've had all the MRI done, and that you had your shot in your shoulder to deal with pain, and you're done with therapy, okay? The medical guidelines provide the okay for your doctor to go and do surgery. It's just a formality to submit the paperwork. Okay, the medical guidelines help decide based on what your injury is here. That can help. But the fact here, the transit wants this to drag on, okay, because they know they're gonna basically drag you out along here, and
Well,
because they don't want you to get paid, because then they want to force you back to work.
here's a question we had from one of the viewers that I believe you should answer because I think it's really important for those that don't know you or the position that they're voting for. Because a lot of people don't even know. Let me just put the question up. Shut up. It's like
Okay,
what are the responsibilities of a Division Third chair? I mean, I
okay.
think that's an excellent question.
Well, you can do
Thank you, Rodney
anything,
Prophet.
Ronnie. I absolutely, but you can represent them at step one, step twos. Okay, uh, generally a first vice chair or a chairman would represent you at an arbitration, but you could do step twos, you could do step ones. You know what? You can go and represent in front of the boss, whatever it is. They come to accident scenes. They respond to requests, but it's actually whatever is basically a um,
Aaron says only step 2 and 3.
twos and step threes. Yeah, but I mean, if I'm here to help him, he wants my help, Aaron. By all means, you know what? The support here to help Aaron or help this here can. But I mean, if we're going technically by FAL-CIO rules, shop stewards could technically represent. They don't want them to. Granted, I would agree with that. but technically, if we're going, because we fall under AFL-CIO, and I think I had this conversation with
That's
them
Greek to me, so but okay.
um, under their constitution, the AFL-CIO constitution, shop stewards are allowed. Just like in OA,
You tell us what that is.
they're elected shop stewards that can
AFLO, what
actually
is
do
that?
that. I'm sorry.
What is that? AFLO.
It's a major labor union.
Okay.
Someone asked me, some are AFL-CIO, different types, whether it's CW.
Transit is AFCIO, isn't it?
Local 100 is. I
Local,
can't
okay.
see what
Okay.
every local
Not-
may choose to do one or the other, but I think TWU is all AFL-CIO.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. So, but when you first threw it out there, I was like, all right, you might as well just speak in another language for. But yeah, okay. To piggyback off of Rodney's question here, do you guys have training before you're elected to do these step hearings?
I believe you're
or-
supposed to get it, but I've already done some of it.
Right. That was going to be I was going to lead to the next question. Have you attended to and like took notes at meetings before you actually represent?
I have not done it in the local, but again, through my training through Cornell, I've had cases where I've had to go against management. Here, okay, bait and switch. You know what? This is what they want. This is what they don't want. You know what? I understand. From what I understand here is, I think what
yeah, we got a knowledgeable audience. I like this.
Whittaker, one quick question, because Rob Blunt had asked you about that.
What?
About your training. I think it was a few days ago or something. I saw you at the depot. I'm not going to mention the name, but there was someone from the last leadership, if you want to say that, or if you want to use that word. I know Blunt doesn't like to use that word.
No,
What's the word you like to use?
Elected official.
There was another elected official that was sitting next to you. I don't talk to him, and he mentioned that he was training you for step 2. Was that like a joke, or are you really under his wing, or he was teaching
No,
you
he was.
step 2?
Listen,
They don't have to mention the name. I was just.
I know who you're talking about, but no,
Yeah.
that was just basically an inside joke. But that was in regards to, I think, somebody on a flyer, on somebody else's flyer, saying that they're doing step 2s. Technically, while they may be able to, e-board members, he hasn't had here. But I understand the clarification on that was Naz witnessed a step 2 hearing. But witnessing does not necessarily mean active in it. So I don't know where he gets the assisting. I mean, if you're going to say you're paper pushing as assisting, okay, well then that's fine. But that's something that people should ask Nas. Exactly what have they done? What have you done?
To be fair, Whittaker, there's different levels to what people may know as assisting. Like you said, it could be working with the paperwork and stuff behind the scenes, and not necessarily arguing or anything like that on the client's behalf. It could be sitting in the room, coming up with strategies and stuff like that, and that doesn't really, you don't really step in the forefront with that. So
No,
you have to be tongue in cheek with it.
No, I know,
really
but
don't know.
you know what? But that's exactly what's been told to me. He witnessed. This is how I'm telling you that I personally don't think Nas is being truly fair with his flyer, but that's on him. But that's okay. That's
we won't step on that too much because he's not here.
No, but I'm saying that's for him to clarify.
Okay.
But what's been told to me is what that's referencing. Because if you remember, he had a shop gate.
Let's stop the mudslinging.
No, not the mud. I just don't want to go on hearsay.
Yeah.
Somebody told you. I really don't get too far.
But let's continue with the whole thing that you're here for, the knowledge.
You know what you know.
Right. You have a couple of things that you posted on that flyer that Blunt read before, the present TA issues. You have 7 of them. What can you tell us about each one? Like what what plans do you have to help out with those, or if you've done something? Let's start with let's do number 4, schedules.
You know what?
As a third vice
I
chair,
and I
because
must
usually don't you have to take your assignments, let's say, from the top, like you got your vice chair, and if for some reason they cannot be there or they have to do, they get called for something else, it goes to the second, and there's a second could that they call upon you.
Yes,
So as
absolutely.
the third vice chair, what can you do, let's say, as far as schedules?
Okay. Well, first of all, as I didn't get to complete my answer from before, but what
I'm
it
sorry,
was,
go ahead, finish that.
but the duties of Division Chair 3, it's whatever assigned to him from the Division Chair, who is actually Ron Carter. He divvies out the schedule. But regardless of that, we need to turn around and get people to slow down. You know what? You're not getting drivers to buy in to slow down because they don't see the benefit of it. But you know what? Whether I'm doing it officially or not, okay, I'm going to go to the end of the lines and talk to drivers and show them. You know what? If we want more running time, we need to slow down. We need to turn around and stop helping the MTA. You know what? From the past there was always a campaign: slow down for safety, slow down for safety. It's a thing that we can legally do because you know what? It's our license, not anybody else's. Well, if you technically want to say transit's license because they pay for our license, um, but you're responsible for it. You know, stop running down the line. You know what? Especially with the bus readers on here, when they're going to get rid of all these schedules, I can only imagine what they're going to look like. What they're going to try to get us to do. Go down the line, speeding down the line. But you know, talk to people. Find out. You know what? What is the issue? You know what? Why don't you? I understand you guys want swing time, but you know what? And you want time. There is ways to legally do that you have a right to do. Okay, for swing time. You know what? And you know, call your personal at the end. You know what? Don't do it every time, but when you really need it, when you need to get out of the seat, go do your post trip. I don't see many people doing that these days. Do a post
Mhm.
trip. That would slow you down. That would, and you know what? No dispatcher is going to ever tell you no, because if you turn around and he tells you that you can't do a post trip, tell him I want your badge number, because you know what? As soon as you ask for that badge number, they're going to change their tune because you know what? Now they know they're on record that they said that you can't do what you're legally required to do, which is your post trip.
Are you talking about at the end of the line or at
Yep,
the end of each
at the
run?
end of the line, at the end of the line too. Guess what? Do your push ups. Don't just go right out. You
What
know?
is the purpose? Because some people don't really understand. Even they might be on the job for a couple years and they still don't understand what the actual purpose of a post trip is for.
I do the post trip every time we get to the line. You're supposed to.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to do an inside and an outside. You know what? See what's changed. You know what?
Right.
Something from the road could have done something. You know what? The streets are caved and bumpy and everything else for that matter. You
Mm-hmm.
know what? After you do your pre-trip in the morning, take a look at it. You know what? Go check the outside. Go check the inside. Then if you want, then you need to use the bathroom. After you do your post trip, then use the bathroom at the end of the line.
What's the importance of the post trip though? Like people
Because
don't understand.
it'll keep you from going to the end of the line to say, oh, well, I didn't know that happened to my bus during the trip. You know
Mhm.
what? If something come loose, you know what? Some of these panels can come loose mid trip. You know, it is just a screw. You know, the vibration from the buses, especially some of the older buses, some of the panels might come loose.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I had a bus when I was driving on a 65 where the panel that was underneath the driver's side door would fly up and hang out like that. So it's like if you didn't really do a post trip or at least look at your bus, you could have beheaded somebody with that damn thing. Going fast and that door's open. It's like a sharp blade, just a guillotine, just riding down the street. But is to the main one of the main reasons for post trip is what is safety issues,
yes,
right?
absolutely.
Definitely a safety issue. And the other one is it's also a health issue because people don't understand that you need to get off out that seat and walk around, get your blood circulating and your muscles moving because you're sedentary and that's very uh dangerous to your health.
A
So
lot of our coworkers do not understand that.
yeah, you
A lot of
somebody
them.
just said that circulation is that's
They
what
feel
so
they feel they're healthy. And,
we hear whoever Facebook. I think that if that's you, Paula, we hear,
yeah.
But yeah, definitely. And so definitely post trip. But let's get back to you. Let's get back to you. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
We got
come on.
jumping off.
Well, it's because we got so much to cover, and very little time to.
Yeah.
Okay,
What up,
so
Rob?
okay, so what's the next on the list? Let's look up.
Um,
No problem.
So
well, let me just when we're talking about the
yeah.
post trip and pre trip, this is something very like we all know it's important.
I
A
guess
few
that's supposed
years
to be an
ago,
inside joke. Yeah.
a few
It's supposed
years
to be an
ago,
inside joke, Rob.
what was that?
Sorry. Yeah, it must be inside. We
Uh,
Good
put up
uh,
there
evening,
for you.
Rosario.
Mhm.
a few years ago, there was this operator, um, senior operator, and he went to get relieved. He was relieved by a rookie operator, and the senior operator got his ass chewed up by a dispatcher in the yard who's no longer here, because you know what? Now I gotta finish it. Uh,
I mean, you can't just leave us
I'm
hanging, bro.
already
Like,
in.
what the
I'm
hell?
already in. Um, the new operator who had very little time on the job did not do a pre-trip, a post-trip. When she got relieved, but this is something that really we don't do. When you get relieved, you do the trip around the outside, correct? You relieving an operator, you get there, you're walking around checking the bus.
Yeah.
But how many of you actually walk inside the bus, even though customers are in there, to check things inside? I bet probably nobody does that.
I do.
So,
But
so
I mean,
yeah.
I never did that.
when I used to make a relief, I used to do it because it's a safety issue.
So these are also new ones. The all new
Guilty.
operators that are out here. What happened to this new operator that she got fired because the senior operator looks like he hit a hole in the ground too hard, and the floor came separated after the rear entrance, after the exit, it came separated, and the floor lifted up from that hit.
Wait, was this a double decker? Not double decker. What the hell?
No, it was a regular bus. Regular bus.
Maybe an older
Regular bus?
RTS,
It was
probably.
a regular bus.
Wow.
So I guess it was seen, and they saw who the operator was, which was the new girl, it was a female, and she lost her job because of that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Was it the female? I maybe again. I'm speculating. Okay.
No, well, it's a female because I was there when the yard dispatcher was chewing this guy's out, saying, "You got so many years on the job,
You should
you
know
could
better.
have taken that." I mean,
Right, because
nothing was going to happen to you
I understand. I get where
as members.
I know what you're talking about, P. I know what you're talking about, and I get where he's coming from with that because it's true. Um, as for him having the seniority, he could have took that one for
Take
the
that
sake
L,
of the
and it would have
operator,
been a slap on the
and
wrist.
yeah, because you don't because the operator was definitely getting fired, so you could have just took that L and just walked away with a slap on the wrist. Yeah, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
did him
So
nothing.
my whole thing is for all you new ones that are out here, those that got a few years,
Gotta cover your ass.
start doing that. Especially if you're relieving rookies too, right?
COA.
Because we got a lot of rookies that are behaving like they got years on the job.
CYA. I'm saying COA.
CYA.
What the hell is COA, y'all? I don't know. This is
Cover.
dyslexic. Cover your
Oh,
ass.
ass.
Cover your ass.
Cover your own ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that people should think about when you get in release, especially if it's a new operator or something. Go in there, take a walk inside, just make sure everything's fine, that they don't try to drop some bomb on you when they leave it. So yeah, I wanted to say it because you brought that up, but yeah, the post trip.
Okay. Next.
Um, so what we okay? Worker assaults. What would you be doing as a third vice chair? Don't you again? You have to still take whatever comes from the top. Like the vice
Correct.
chair to the second to
Absolutely.
you. So if none of them are bringing this up, how would you, or what do you think you can do as the third vice chair to resolve this TA surface issue when it comes to
You know what?
worker assaults?
Not a problem. Keep
Not
it
a
in.
problem.
Keep
Superman. All
keep
right.
keep it in the forefront. The MTA hates bad publicity. They hate all publicity, but they had bad publicity here. Keep bringing it up and keep it in the MTA's face. I don't see enough uh, at the MTA board meetings about crime. About this here. Do you know that they stopped producing now? They were doing it on what the assault rates and harassment rates for both subways and buses. They don't do that anymore. They're hiding it.
I think there's a
Um,
site that I used to go to that posts it up
Yeah, I
every
was just
day.
gonna ask. Can you just when you
yeah,
see
you
just
could you
site.
could
Google and
you
find it?
you can usually find it in the MTA board materials or the committee materials. They used to do it, but now they haven't been doing it because they've redesigned the committee book, and the MTA book for their board meetings and committee meetings. So
Hmm.
somehow
Okay, so
that
what can you do about it?
I'm going to keep it
What
in the
can you do
forefront.
about it?
I'm going to go to the next MTA committee meeting,
Mm.
which I believe it might be next week. I got to double check the date. No, I think it's the 27th is going to be the MTA committee meeting. And already been to their committee meetings multiple times. And my thing to them was decisions that you guys make at the board meeting and upper level management is not only hurting operators, okay? And I keep telling them, you don't say enough about that. How many times do we hear that? I think it was just said today in the shopcase that we had at the depot that saying that we don't ever hear about the bad things, about the operator assaults. But God forbid we screw up something here, it'd be all on the news, and that's absolutely true because they want to point the finger at us. But I, like I said, I think it's the 27th. The 27th, you will see me testify at the MTA New York City Transit Committee, okay? And I will keep this up and tell them, you guys got to do more for assaults. You guys
And
got
it's
to do
also
more for
maybe that
assaults.
there's some operators that just don't report it.
That's true. That's true.
They don't want to take the time to just fill out that form, you know. And
Well, see that there's two things with that come there. First of all, if you're assaulted and you're injured, then you fill out a workers' comp report, an IOD report. But if you were assaulted, you were harassed, it needs to be reported because a SITS report needs to be generated. A security information tracking system. It's called SITS. Okay, and it needs to be tracked because that's how they hide their stuff. If it isn't reported, they could turn around and say, you know, um,
yeah, another
there
question.
are there are none. There are none. There are none.
There are none what?
It would technically be considered workers' place violence, whether it's from another member, from a supervisor, from the public. It would technically be workers' place violence because you know what? You're entitled to a safe workplace. And no offense, those cameras they installed on buses, that's very good. When I'm dead because I've been assaulted or shot, they'll be fine to catch the killer after that.
Right.
There's no real time monitoring of that when something happens. They have to go and pull the video. Okay, that's fine. But you know what? How about the union calls for more police on buses? I understand they got the Eagle team, but you know what? The Eagle team here is for fare evasion. Okay, we need them. You know what? Talk to the city council. Talk to your assembly people. You know what? Tell them we need to see more police on buses. Have them check on us. You know what? Hey, is everything good? They don't do that enough. You know what?
Especially on problem lines. There are certain lines in each depot that are very problematic. So they could just start there, Just start
But
there to
I guarantee you at lobby day, I mean, I have my list of people already who I'm going to say. I don't know what the union's doing. I know what I'm doing. I know who I have to go talk to. I know who I want to talk about. Okay, which is going to be the assaults. Okay, labor, the pensions, tier six. You're going to go see people of that. Okay, I have people that I'm going to see on that. I'm going to see. You know what? You want the labor committee, the transportation committee. Are you not finding a Brooklyn assembly person, a Brooklyn senator that probably doesn't understand what the Brooklyn bus redesign is all about? Because when I briefed my councilman, Ari Keegan, I briefed him because I actually met in his office 2 weeks ago for an hour. And I went and I showed him everything. And he goes, well, that's not what we were told. Well, verbatimly, they're lying to you. Because right on that sheet for the bus redesign, it says decreased running time. So you're not getting more service. You're getting service, but you're not getting more service because you can run faster. That's what the bus stops are. You know what? The assembly people, the city councilmen, the senators, they all need to understand that that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. You know what? In the Bronx redesign, you know what? They're telling me they had to go back and put stuff back because it wasn't working, but they didn't change the timing. So now the schedules are all out of whack again.
Yeah, they never changed it when the speed limit was changed.
Don't
That was the chance
worry,
to do it.
that's about to change too. And
Well, they have to. They're gonna be cutting
no, no, no.
uh routes, or not routes, stops. They
The
will have to do
stops.
some changes to the schedules.
Yeah, I mean it's a shifting of service basically.
But
But
but Whittaker, I know you're saying all these things, but again, my whole issue is like, can you do these things, or do you have to wait to get the permission from above, like the second chair
yeah,
or and the vice chair
I'm in
yourself,
a
or
I'm
can
in
you
a
go on your own and say, look, I'm
well,
gonna.
first of all, anybody can turn around here and talk to their local councilmen and senators and all that. Guess what? I'm in a little bit of a unique position for the city councilman because I've been appointed to a community board. Okay, you know what? I became friends with the councilman. I know what and I talk to them. They can't stop you from talking to people. That's against the law. Really, it's First Amendment right. You can do
I
whatever you
just
want.
asked because one of the other candidates had said that you basically have to take, your assignments that come from above. Like if they
Yes,
ask you, they call you, that's what you go do. So
yes,
if all these things that
absolutely.
you want to talk about, if nobody ever tells you from above, like go do this for safety issues, or go do this about schedules, then your
What?
hands are tied. It's not like a vice president, that they could actually fight on these things. They're supposed to fight on these things, and he hasn't. So as a
Uh,
third vice chair, I'm just wondering if
yes,
you could actually do
I
these
would still,
things
I would still
aside
have
from
to
you being a community board, because that really, as far as the TA job, I don't know how that blends together. Because
because that's how I'm working the Coney Island stop here, being on the
okay,
community board, being a city council member. That's how we're getting that fixed. On the B1, I had the New Utrecht Avenue stop on the B1, 86 in New Utrecht, which was a hazard to bus operators. I beaten to death that stop. Okay, because that was going to get buses with the Arctics. The cars were overtaking the buses here. Okay, that's how I help it. Listen, you have to find ways to help to get results regardless of it. Yeah, I have to do what I'm assigned, but I go above and beyond because you know what? That's what we need to do. That's how change works. You have to go above and beyond. Like I said, there are countless hours that I do because I'm keeping a focus on the eye. You know what? What can I do? What do I have to do to get what I want to help? You know what? I will do everything that's ever assigned to me from the chairman, Ron Carter. By all means, absolutely, I fill in whatever. But you know what? I'm going to go above and beyond. That's
okay,
that's that's the leadership. That's the leadership saying, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do what I have to do to fix it.
okay. I want to throw this question up to Mr. Rodney, and to respond to it. That was from a little earlier. He said we need line stewards on the road per route, making sure things are okay. I just wanted to say that this was already touched on by our depot chair, Rodney, and our depot, Aaron, who said that with this next pick, he would have a list of people from all the routes that want to become a line steward, and then that way we'll have somebody on all our lines. This is a Jackie Gleason. I don't know what they're doing in the other depots, but with the new pick, that he would have people. If you want to be part or you want to become a line steward, then you will be assigned to your line to find any little issues, road problems along the route. So, as far as Jackie Gleason, that's what Aaron's going to be doing coming up with the next pick.
Yeah, and as I told both the division and also Aaron, I asked Aaron to get all these probies together. There are so many issues with probies. Sit them down. You know what? Have a meeting once a month. See what they're doing. You know what? Go above and beyond. I understand he's got um he's got issues that he has to deal with, and that's fine. But you know what? That's a leader going above and beyond. You know what? I understand Aaron has long days and he's got things to do. But you know what? Delegate Ebony. Delegate somebody else to help get that done to see what's going on. Um, how about this? Shop stewards. Now we should have now had shop stewards for this contract battle. It's been pushed back yet again. Um, we need shop stewards. We need line stewards. We need people to get involved. At today's Shopgate, the younger members here, they were all on the couch and that was bring up, and they were saying that they feel like they're minimized, that they feel like that they're not cared for, that nobody wants to hear from them. And you know what? That was really sad because I turn around for months now. I've been saying the perception of what the union is doing to these younger members here, they just feel like they're not cared for. They don't care. It's just like, done. That may not be the case. But that's one's perception. Perception is actually a reality. Um, the mentors, you know what? Are they actually checking back on with should are the mentors checking out in on their students to answer that question? I'm not sure if they are or not. Is it just after a certain point here? But you know what? You got shop stewards can do that too. You have a bunch of them in probably every depot in Brooklyn that are looking to help, that believe in that. You know what?
But the culture is different now. Like the way it is, the way it's coming about now. Like when I started, one of the mentors, and God rest his soul, one of my mentors was Miguel. And from the day that I line trained with him, even after I left transit, every day he had a lesson for me. Every day. And I'm not kidding. We would sit at the lunch table in the swing room and he have a lesson for me. Like once he became a mentor, it was a wrap. It didn't matter how many years I had on the job, he still had a lesson for me. But here's one quick question I think everybody wanna know, and we gotta
Yeah, we
try
gotta
to
go.
keep it as short as you can, all right?
Hmm.
Rob,
Go ahead.
is with the environment now, that it's like a almost said unwritten war that's going on uh between employees and management. Where do you stand on being friends or stand with management right now?
I don't stand with management. I, I don't stand with management. I will never stand with management. Listen, my guys, my job as division, as shop steward, as anything over here, is I stand with the bus operators. Period. End of story. I don't care what management wants. I care what the drivers want. Because you know what? We're the ones that do a majority of the work. I will always stand with the drivers, 100 times. You know, you have to have somewhat of a friendship with management just to keep from going here. But I'm going to do it on terms that are favorable to operators.
Mhm.
You know what? Does that make things a little tougher for uh, depot chairs and also division chairs? Absolutely. But you know what? That's what you signed up for when you were elected. You know, if you can't do that, stand up for the members and stand behind the members against management, then you don't deserve that position. You know what? Yes, you have to try to do the best thing, but stand with members. Make sure they know. You know, don't have lunch with them. You know, don't have lunch with them. That's they're not. You know what? Management's not your friend. Period. End of story. As I tell my when I teach my students, I said, listen, if you have anybody that's a superintendent or a dispatcher that's your friend, they may be your friend outside, but coming inside that head, they have a job to do, and they will throw you under the bus every time they can because that's their job. Do not consider friends that you may have outside that might be dispatchers or superintendents. When you enter that building, you're an employee and they're your boss. That's where the line has to get drawn. You know what? And they should understand that. What you do outside here, when you leave the job and you're away, that's fine. But when you come here, don't consider them you're going to get any favors from them. And nor should we. Because we shouldn't be doing favors for them. We shouldn't. You know what? I understand you got to give a little bit, but I'm going to do it what's favorable for bus operators. Again, does that make it tough? Absolutely. But if I'm elected to office, that's what I've been put there to do.
But isn't it smart to have at least have them on your side? Because if I mean, you have to have some type of a friendship. You can't just be like against it. You have to have some
It has to be
common.
cordial.
Yeah.
I just said you had to have some
Because
He
that
did
will
say that.
that will be a problem, you know. Then whenever you come there for a favor or something you want, they're just gonna turn their back
If
on
you
you.
don't have a relationship, at least a
You have
cordial
to.
relationship with management, every time you go to talk to them, it's going to be difficult. So you have to have some kind of cordial relationship with management.
and I already said that you have to
You
have
said, yeah,
some.
he did say that.
I
Yeah,
did.
okay.
You have to have some, but I want to do it when it's on our side.
I
I'm not
got
going to go play from their side of the line. Come and crawl to them to give them here. You know what? By all means, my hands out there. What can I do to help them? Okay, but in the essence, I'm also going to do it. Make sure that we get something out of it. You know what? For the operators, I'll
Yeah,
give
so-
you something, but you better get damn well better believe it better be something for our operators.
So 30 seconds, give us a last minute pitch for those who may not know you and why they should vote for you, and then we're gonna sign off after that.
Mhm.
I want
Hold on,
people
hold on,
to
wait,
vote for
wait.
me that are looking for somebody to lead, to help them fix the issues, who's willing to work with anybody and everybody to get things done, to make your lives easier, to make everyone's lives easier. I want to bring the leadership that is lacking. That's the difference. Bottom line, it's leadership. Doing the job and learning the job, which I've done training for and all, it's different. Ask me the questions that you want to ask me. Stop me. I'll be more than happy to give you an answer. You know what? And if I can't get the exact answer, which is local 100 Pacific, I guarantee you I will get it to you before the end of the night. Before I can. But it's leadership. Bottom line, leadership is where it's going to be.
All right.
All right, thank you
You
for
heard it here first, folks.
Mr. Whittaker, real quick. What's the last chance you have to send out your votes? Because they count them on the 30th.
I
I haven't filled mine out because I was hoping to wait to see at least when I hear from Ms. Howell on next Thursday, or is that will be too late to send my
I would
ballot out?
say next Saturday. Let's see, hold on. Next Saturday, uh, the 25th would be probably preferable, but
All right, so that
definitely,
Thursday. So that
yeah.
if we wait till the
Oh,
next show to at least
yeah,
hear from
yeah,
another candidate.
like the 25th. You know what? Because you have 4 or 5 days to get there.
Sounds
But
good.
the 27th absolutely is the deadline because you can't deliver them in person.
Okay.
It
So
has to
once
come
again, I
back by
wanna
mail.
want to thank you for coming in. Thank everybody for watching. Next week, Nakia Howell will be here.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, she did say
Hopefully.
she would be. She
Yeah.
is from Fresh Pond. So, guys, if you want to hold on to send your ballots out to put that check mark, you want to wait to hear what Miss Howell has to say. Wait till next week; she'll be on. Thanks again, Mr. Whittaker, for joining us again. You'll probably, I don't know if you'll be, well, let's see what happens, but we'll have her next week, and probably have the same kind of questions and see how she responds to this because I want to know. I don't know anything about her, and I'm sure a lot of us don't. A lot of other people don't know nothing about her. And I don't want it to be to the point that you're just picking someone because you know them. You understand? Just so people that are watching this are from other depots. They got to listen to you. They can make a more conscious decision now. Okay, it's like, do I pick this one that I know for all these years, or not Whitaker come forward with this knowledge? So thank you, thank you for that. What
Thank you.
happened, Blunt? Oh, he'll be back. So yeah, so we ending the show right now. I always want to hit that hour, but we always go over.
Just before we go, I just want to say real quick. There's a lot of propaganda that's going on online. Uh, Negative, especially negative. I mean, you got this stupid Facebook group. I don't know who the hell they are, but they
It's a
always
private
posted
group too.
something. They always posted something negative about or either the candidates or other members. But I just seen a post the other today uh, of a flyer that was redesigned for one of the candidates in the chair, run the third chair, and it was all negative. They redesigned it into all negative stuff. Listen, if you can't make up your mind for yourself, just don't listen to that crap. Don't fall for that dumb stuff where people talk negative about these people. Speak to these people yourself. If you have something that you want to ask them, most of the candidates that I know, they're easy to talk to. You get a phone number from anybody who knows them. You can hit them up on their Facebook page or whatever, and they will definitely reach back out to you. So please don't fall for that dumb shit.
Yeah,
Uh,
make your own, and that's why we have them coming on here so people can make their own decisions
no.
about each candidate. So again, thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate it, man. Good
Yeah,
luck in the runnings, man.
Thank you.
yeah, and we will be back next week again with Miss Howell and see how that goes. With that said, I'm Brooklyn Pete,
And I'm your boy Blunt.
and that's the end of our show.
Fuck them if they can't take a joke. Hmm.
Good night, everybody.